to you. Thank you so much for those of you hanging out and being a little patient. Wow, it took me about 20 minutes to figure that out. There was a setting in Facebook erroneously checked for so that the post would only be seen by me, which is no good because we need all of you to see it. So anyways, so glad to have you in. Excited to have Ragan Whiteside in the house. And we are going to have a blast today. But first, we're going to bring in my lovely wife, Kat, right off the top. In fact, let's bring her in on camera. There she is.
Hi. Hi,
All
everyone.
right, all right. And we had so much fun last week.
Yes.
What tune did we do last week?
We did Chasing Pavements by Adele, right?
We did a little bit of Adele, and it was
Okay.
such a blast, such a fun way to start off the show.
It was.
That I said just a few hours ago, let's learn another tune. So this is one that we used to jam on way back in the day when we were
Way back
dating.
in the day.
And so we're going to bring it back for you guys. And you're going to recognize it. It's a tune that needs no introduction. Here we go.
Summertime and the living's easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, y'all gonna rise up singing. Then you spread your wings and take the sky. Till that morning, y'all gonna rise. Nothing's gonna harm you. With daddy and mammy standing by. Summertime and the living's easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high, so high. Your dad is rich and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. So hush, little baby, don't you cry, cry, cry. Don't cry, no. Don't cry, no. Don't cry, 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 no. Don't cry, no. Don't cry. Don't cry, no. Don't cry.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we're just getting you warmed up here. Thanks so much, Kat,
You're
for that.
welcome.
Jumping in a
Thank
little
you.
earlier
I
than
know, right?
usual. But we will hear from Kat a little bit later. So much fun. Well, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the incredible Ragan Whiteside in the house. Don't forget to click share because we want to spread the good vibes, spread the incredible music. Reagan has 2 songs for you guys. We are going to collaborate on one of them, and then at the end of the show, I've got a brand new song never performed before as well. So make sure you stick around. It's going to be so much fun. If you want to support the show, we appreciate you guys. You've been incredible from the beginning. You can click that link in the description for PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. You can contribute with stars. All I can say is thank you, thank you, thank you. There's a reason we've been here for 43 weeks straight, and it's because of you guys. So thank you so much. And without further ado, please enjoy the one and only Ragan Whiteside.
All right, what is up, Reagan? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I am great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks so much for coming on AH Live, and I want to dive right in. What was the reason you started playing the flute?
Because the band teacher ran out of other instruments.
Oh, wow. You know, you are
really,
not the first person to say that.
Yeah, it was crazy because I wanted to play drums and they said, no, we have a limited amount of drums and all the boys wanted to play drums anyway. So pick something else. I said, okay, I want to play trumpet. And we're out of trumpets. Well, what do you have left? I said, the flute and the clarinet. I said, give me the flute, and it took me about a week to get a sound out of it. And but then it started to grow on me. So, the rest is history.
That you ended up going to the Cleveland Institute of Music, right? So you definitely took it seriously from the beginning.
And it's funny, I was kind of forced into classical music as well. So it's like, yes, I was not forced into the flute, but it was just, I guess the path kind of found me. I didn't, And so I wanted to play jazz, and they said, no. My private teacher was like, no, you got to learn classical music. That's your foundation. You need to do jazz later. And I was like, okay. But so once I started playing classical and I started winning competitions, and I was like, hey, I can do this. Maybe I can be in an orchestra or be a classical soloist. And so I went full on classical conservatory, the whole bit. And halfway through my senior year, I said, wait a minute. This is not what I wanted to do. This is not it. My heart just wasn't in it. And I was in the middle of a concerto competition, and I was playing this 20-minute concerto from memory. And I knew it cold. Halfway through, forgot everything. Gone. And the panel of judges, they were like, well, you're doing really well. You can start again. It's fine. And I said, nah. And I walked out. And that was it. I finished out, I got my bachelor's in music performance, whatever. And pissed a lot of people off, especially my teacher, my flute teacher there. But I just knew that wasn't my path. And so about a month after I graduated, I ended up going to this little jazz club in Scarsdale, New York, where Bob Baldwin and Marion Meadows were playing. And the place was really, really intimate. I mean, maybe it held 75 people, 50 people, I don't know. But I was sitting right up front, and I knew right then, I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. And went up to Bob after. I'm a classical musician. I want to make the transition to jazz. Will you help me? What do you have any advice? And he says, listen, I'm going into the studio in 2 days to record a jingle for CD 101.9, which was the smooth jazz station in New York at the time. And why don't you come through, bring your flute? And so I did. And my life just went from there.
Wow.
Yeah, he became my mentor. I met Dennis Johnson, who is my husband and producer and songwriting partner and everything. Met him. It was his studio. And so in one day, my whole life just flipped.
There's so many accolades to try to keep track of, but let me know if I got this right. You have had 6 in a row in terms of songs going in the top 10 on Billboard. So just talk about the success you've had recently. It's astounding. It's been crazy.
I've been grinding for a long time. This is years in the making. And when I first dropped my first album came out in 2007, and at the time, it was thought that flute didn't test well with audiences, and so it was kind of shunned from radio and stuff like that. And but we kept going. And at that time, when the stations were starting to flip to other formats, I think that there was kind of a reckoning where it's like, okay, we need to start opening this up and kind of breathing new life into the format. And so they started allowing more instruments, whether they tested well or not. And I think everything just kind of came together in, at the right time, and we had, the right tunes, I guess, at the time. And it was like, wow, we broke through finally, and it was really just kind of gratifying after getting so many no's from labels, and to be able to do it independently, it just really made me feel good, because it was like, yeah, all those no's, it's like, ha 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 ha.
You literally
I did it anyway.
Yeah, you got the last laugh, no question about it. Well, and the last thing I'll mention, because we've got two incredible performances coming up from you, but I'm noticing a theme. Family's got to be important to you, so much so that the names, I believe, of your children are starting to show up in the song titles. Is that right?
Yes. Corey's Bob, and JJ Strut.
Yeah.
Dennis actually wrote both of those songs. And and I put my thing on them. I wrote a couple of verses or whatever in there, but it was there. Having kids really opened us both up creatively. I don't know where it came from or why, but just all the extra emotion, all the extra love that comes along with the birth of a child, it just kind of kept things flowing. And we gotta let them have a little something. So you're gonna get your own song.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, and we're gonna hear one of them right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy, from Reagan, JJ's Strut. Awesome. Killer tune. And we've got one more that you let me jump on. It's called Jam It. Tell us about this song.
Jam It is, all right, you know when you're at a backyard barbecue and the song comes on the radio and you're standing there with your plate and you go, oh, that's my jam. And then you're just standing there and you're dancing with your plate or your soul cup and you're just like, Jam It. I wanted to just capture that feeling that, you know, that summertime backyard barbecue, let's have some fun and just have a good time.
Oh man, awesome. Well, I'm hungry already, but before we get to that, let's play it. Here it is. I'm having a lot of fun here with Reagan. This is called Jam It. Awesome. Thanks so much for letting me jump in on that. And before we get out of here, please let us know what's on the horizon. I think you have a new EP that came out recently. And also let us know where we can find you online.
Yes, the new EP, and also it is available in physical discs now for all of you audiophiles out there. But you can also find me, obviously Facebook, Ragan Whiteside Music. I'm on Instagram. Twitter, not so much, but that's a lot of work over there. But my website, RaganWhiteside.com.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, go grab the new EP. And Reagan, appreciate you so much for coming through. Thanks for dropping in.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, yes. The one and only Ragan Whiteside. Pretty incredible. That was so much fun. Thank you, Reagan, for dropping in to AH Live. And that was such a blast. I'm going to bring my lovely wife back. Bam! There she is.
Hi.
Kat is back in the house, and wasn't that so much fun with Reagan?
It was so much fun. I always love when you do more than one video for music.
Yeah.
Like when they do 2 songs. Or
Hey,
more.
I ask for it. Sometimes people are a little busy, but Reagan was more than generous with her time. Thank you so much, Reagan, for taking the time.
Thank you, Reagan.
Really incredible, awesome music, and as she mentioned, she's been collaborating with some incredible people. Her husband / producer extraordinaire, Bob Baldwin's in there in the mix. One of the tracks I grabbed of hers to play during the interview, she had Kim Waters on. So just really, really cool, really great stuff. So appreciate you, Reagan.
Yeah.
What were the people saying, Kat?
Well, so many people loved Reagan, and then also a lot of people were introduced to her for the first time.
Okay.
So let me tell you what some people were saying about you, Reagan. Allison Fader, she's in Canada. Hi, Allison.
What's up, Allison? How you doing?
She says, wow, another new to me artist who is phenomenal. And then Cheryl Walters says, count on Adam for the awesome collabs.
Yeah, it was a blast.
So many people. I saw so many people putting the dancing emoji, the lady with the red dress.
No, she's got some feel-good music, as she mentioned. You play that music at the cookout,
Yes.
So, no, it's great stuff.
Great. Teresa Babbers says, get it, Reagan, when she was playing the first song, JJ Strut.
Yeah.
Paula Sanders says, so glad you followed your calling, Reagan. Amazing.
Yeah, that was such an interesting story. She was studying classical and literally walked out and then ended up connecting, as I mentioned, with her husband and Bob, and the rest is history.
I know. And
pretty fascinating.
Christopher Atlas commented on that as well. He says, walked out cold. Good for you. Following your intuition and not someone else's passion for your life.
100%. No, that's what you got to do. Follow what you love. So she made it happen. No question. And as I mentioned in the interview, her last 6 songs all hit Billboard Top 10. So she's killing it. And, so it's really great.
That's interesting. I always like hearing people's backstories about if they were in a different genre first, because that's similar to me. I was classically trained, but then also sang in church, and then the classical ties into the theater for stage. And so, when I met you, and that's when I got introduced to like Top 40 and singing in clubs and stuff, I always thought it was very weird because I never liked the runs and people.
And you had that classical vibrato too.
Songs, and I would be like, no, that's not how it's written. This shouldn't be like that. Why are you pronouncing that word like that?
But you get complimented for that a lot now, for your diction and for your enunciation. And so very cool.
And she's definitely right. When you have that, especially with classical bass, especially with learning music and reading, but then also the correct technique that you're supposed to play with, and then you use it in a different way, you kind of have like a step up, because you're disciplined, so to speak.
Yeah, and I felt similar too, and absolutely no offense to the great classical musicians out there. It's incredible music, incredible repertoire, but I felt exactly like Reagan. It's like, okay, this is great, it's a great starting point, but I want to do my own thing, and I want to express myself, and jazz is such an amazing place for that, because you never know what's going to happen. Just look at summertime. Today we just came up with a brand new Latin arrangement, and then we rehearsed it a bunch of times, but what you guys heard live had never happened before because we were improvising. So that's the beautiful thing about jazz, and I bet Reagan feels the same way too. It's just an awesome forum to really express yourself and whatever you're feeling on that particular day. So it's a beautiful thing.
Beautiful thing.
Yep.
And we have a lot of our friends watching.
Yeah.
We have Steve Hall watching.
What's
Hi,
up, Steve?
Jerry Walters and
Yeah.
Cheryl Walters in Phoenix, Arizona.
All right.
Marilyn and Rick down in
Yes,
San Diego. And
Santiago.
I definitely have to say thank you, Marilyn and Rick, because Marilyn posted on her page, AH Live having some technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Yes.
That
Wow.
was so sweet. Explain to everyone again what happened.
So we've been doing this for 43 weeks. That is the first time that happened. Somehow, my Facebook account, the audience got switched to only me. So when I first went live at 6, I saw it on my page, and I was like, okay, we're cool. And then Kat was like, hey, I don't see it, because she's logged in on her account. And man, it took me about 15 minutes just to figure out what was going on, and then another 10 minutes to figure out how to fix it. So the end result was I had to actually go into my account and pretend I was just doing a regular post, not even a live, switch the audience, then go back to do a live video, and then the audience was correct so that y'all could see it.
Right.
So anyways, thanks again for your
Yes,
patience.
thank you.
Now we know that's one more on the checklist. I'm doing the job of like 15 people over here, so that's one more thing on my checklist to double check, but glad we got it working, and thanks so much for tuning in, and
Yes,
glad we
thank
got
you
it
so much.
because dynamic performances from Reagan. So
I know.
Yep.
And so alongside with Marilyn and Rick, we have, my sister, Portia Stewart, watching
All right,
in the
what's
Atlanta
up?
area. And then we have Ray Payton, one of our good friends through
Yes.
music. He's down
What
in
is
Temecula.
up?
Hi,
All right.
Ray. How you
Temecula
doing?
in the house.
I know. And some people are commenting about the technical difficulties. I saw Linda Dickinson and Rhonda Kilpatrick both said they couldn't watch it on their TV
Oh, okay.
for some reason. But I don't know if that has anything to do with your setting. It must be like Facebook or something.
Yeah, well, I will continue to effort because we're always trying to make it better each week. So I'm gonna research this issue some more and see if I can't help with that. Because I see a few people saying it's not working on Facebook Watch, Chromecast. So that's strange, but I'll look into that as well. And we have a fantastic episode lined up for you next week, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. So we're all learning together. The pandemic has been so crazy. I knew nothing about photography, nothing about lighting, nothing about live streaming. And so it's been a fun journey, and
It has
appreciate you
been.
guys, coming along with us, and we're all learning together. So we'll work it out.
Yeah, and you know what's so interesting? Even one of my old college directors and vocal coaches, she called me and was like, what are you guys using? What program? Because she owns a dance studio and music studio.
Right.
And of course, they couldn't go into the studio. So she was doing everything Zoom and trying different programs. And I was like, I don't even know. Adam is the one to talk to. He's really been like digging in, trying to figure it out like everyone else. With the
And there's been a
technical
lot
gear.
of people in the industry that have been a huge help. Brian Culbertson was a huge help. He's obviously got his incredible show every Friday. So I was picking his brain, and also Jeff Ryan, friend of the show, and played on my most recent record. He is an incredible mind in the world of photography, and he was a huge help with getting the lighting together and getting my camera settings. So big shout out to both of them, and we're all in this together, trying to make it happen till we can get back on the road.
Definitely. So did you want to scroll over to Ask Adam?
I think it's time for some Ask Adam. What are the people asking?
We have a few questions here. First, I want to start with the ones that we had to roll over from last week.
That's right.
There's only just a couple of those.
Okay.
So speaking of the pandemic, last week, Nancy Stack, hi Nancy, she said, what's your COVID situation in your part of California?
Oh.
think I can answer the first
Go
part
for-
of
yeah,
that.
go ahead.
It's still effed up. And I know in so many different parts of the world, especially the U.S., just with like different governing guidelines and whatnot, everything is just so different. And then the way, of course, that your city and state is laid out and the amount of people. But California is very much bad. Terrible.
Yeah.
The whole state, northern and southern. Just on Friday, our governor raised our stay in place orders. So this whole time through the winter, we've been in stay in place, meaning that we had curfew. We couldn't, be at certain places at certain times. Our movie theaters are still closed. Some malls are still closed. If malls are open, like the food courts are no longer open and some stores are no longer open. Indoor and patio eating at restaurants was nothing. We weren't doing any of that for months. And then just on Friday, they opened everything up for patio eating.
Right.
But it's pretty bad. And we say, everyone's like, oh, wear a mask. And it's not necessarily, I think, that because in California, at least everywhere we are in Los Angeles, it's required any building that you enter, no matter where you are, you have to wear a mask. If not, you can be asked to leave. You can get a ticket, if you are not following that. But a lot of people are just going to each other's houses and families gathering or people having parties or weddings still with a lot of people, And so it's very difficult. And but yeah, it's the same. Nothing's changed.
And we really don't venture out of the house very often. I've just been going out once a week to, we film at church without a congregation, but we film our weekly service. So I've just been going out on Sundays, and otherwise we've just been here, and so we feel fortunate. We've got a place here that we can, we've got our Netflix, and we've got our HBO Max, and, we just got a ping pong table. I'll have to get some pictures and show you guys. Me and little Adam have been going at it. So, we got some things to keep us busy, and that's pretty much what we've been doing, just waiting it out. So,
I know.
Yep.
Michelle Dahlwin says, is she going to see you in Napa this June?
Oh, gosh. You know what? So this June's Napa is a reschedule from last June. And Brian did ask me to come, but had everything happened as it was supposed to, I would have been on the cruise. So it was a conflict. I had to say, sorry, I can't make it. So this year I could make it, but it's the lineup that's the reschedule from last year. So anyways, Brian has been so generous, and he's had me up there, I think 4 times now. So it's such a blast. So definitely hope to be back, and hopefully he'll reach out because it's so much fun. Let him know you want me back. How about that? And we'll shoot for 2022.
Yes. Let's see. Is it Tommy? Myers or okay. Tommy? They say, how's the new house? Question mark.
Oh, thank you so much for asking. And we just met our neighbors. There's a lot of new people that moved in this neighborhood. And so we're getting to know all of them. There's a family that just moved in next door, and they're dentists, which is very convenient. So we don't have to go far for our dental care. But anyways, to answer your question, we're just having a blast. We're just getting everything sorted. Studio was the priority, so got that up and running right away. We got everything painted in the first week. Now we got the pizza oven up and running, and now we're kind of contemplating what we want to do with the backyard, just to kind of have our whole oasis kind of vibe going on. So, but yeah, I think the house is coming together nicely. We have furniture. We didn't have that for the first 6 weeks. So,
well, we have some furniture. We don't have everything, but we have what we, can live with right now.
We got our couches. We got our bed.
Yeah.
We were without that for a while, so it was like we were in a college dorm. We felt like we were.
I know. So yeah, I mean, it's functional. We're comfortable, but nothing is like really in its place. I don't even have like all of our DIY stuff, and like how we mentioned before, we were thinking of redoing the kitchen, but I think first we're gonna concentrate on our backyard, since obviously we're not going anywhere anytime soon with COVID, so we want the backyard to be our hangout kind of,
totally.
Like our old house, if you guys saw photos. And actually when we first moved here, Adam Jr. said, "Mom, can you fix the backyard? Like, can you like do something with the concrete? Can you add something?"
Well, she had stylized our last place, and it was amazing. We had the tiki torches. You had the design on the concrete. It was paint, but it looked like a really nice tile. Design.
So I stenciled the concrete.
Yeah.
So I used concrete paint and then also like really heavy chalk paint, and I stenciled the whole entire patio and put like a waterproof sealant on it. I repainted our patio cover and like new hardware and just the whole bit.
Yeah.
So Adam Jr. was like, "Mom, what you gonna do with this?"
Yeah. Come on, chop. he wants results.
I know, and I'm like, I don't know if I could do it this time. We're gonna have to find someone to do it for us.
But I guess to summarize, we're really enjoying it. We're enjoying the space, and we're just tweaking and kind of making it our own. But we're really fortunate. Of all the houses we looked at, this was the one closest to where we could move in and just start living right away. So we've definitely enjoyed that to be able to kind of get in and just kind of rest for a second, and then now we're kind of tinkering a little bit again.
Yeah, because like we said, it's just. I mean, and you know what? Actually, all of our neighbors on our street, whenever they see us, they're like, "Dude, your guys' house is so dope. You can just walk right in, everything's fine." Which it was. We could, but as we explained when we first moved in here, everything was just very traditional, totally functional, totally fine and pristine and immaculate, just not our style. So that's why, we want to just change a few different things. I don't know why my thing keeps falling. But, and then speaking of the house, Lori Erickson says, "What kind of pizzas have you made this week?"
Oh gosh, well we went at it again, and they were some of the best that we've made. In fact, little Adam, when we gave him his, because they're like personal size, they're about 8-inch or so.
Yeah.
When we gave him his pizza, he said, "This looks good." So we're getting it together. It was mostly me, ladies and gentlemen. Kat is a saint in the preparation. I've been cooking them, and you just got to rotate. It kind of cooks more on one side, so I just got to rotate it every 30 seconds, and it only takes about 5 minutes. So once I got kind of the flow down, and then also learned how to feed a little bit of wood, because it's wood burning, so you got to kind of also monitor the temperature and keep that going. So once I got the hang of that, man, last week was killer.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it again on Sunday, right?
I don't know. It might be raining.
Oh, we'll work it out. We'll get some umbrellas.
And speaking of rain, Adam was laughing at our son's school, because Adam originally is from Oregon, so he always makes fun of our SoCal weather.
I could not believe the message I got from little Adam. So he's in middle school, and they have what they call grab and goes, because he's in virtual learning, but occasionally we have to go to campus just to pick up books for him or other materials. So they sent a message saying, "Oh, it's gonna rain today, so we're gonna move the grab and go tomorrow." I said, "What?"
And so Adam, he goes, "If this is not California living," he's like, "We had to do everything in the rain in Oregon."
But you know what's funny? Everything's relative. So in Oregon, it only rains it only snows maybe 2 or 3 times a year. So in Oregon, snow is the thing that shuts everything down. Whereas I know we have people watching in the Midwest and in the Northeast where, it snows. Okay, big deal. But in Oregon, it was snow. All the schools would shut down. The roads would shut down. No one would go to work. So here in California, it's rain shuts everything down. And you know what's funny too? Like if you have a show, especially in my earlier days before I started, doing my own records and whatnot. Say you're just playing at a club, and there's not necessarily pre-sale. People are just gonna show up. If it rains, no one's coming to your gig. So it's just funny how it's whatever you're used to.
And when he said that, I was like, yeah, nobody wants to go out in the rain. And he's like, but it's just rain. I was like,
it's so silly.
We don't do that here in SoCal.
So funny. Oh man. Crazy.
Okay, so next question.
Okay.
I think you may have answered this in the chat, but Robert Crutchard says, "Where is Reagan from?"
Oh, she is in Atlanta, the ATL, and yeah, so she's been hanging out down there, and we've also connected a couple times. I didn't mention it earlier, but we first met in Connecticut, hanging out with, shout out to Al Taylor. He has this great promotions he does up there. So we first met there, and then we ran into each other in Louisville at the Derby Jazz Festival and ended up jamming together there. So yeah, it's been fun seeing Reagan.
And the first time that we met her in Connecticut, she was pregnant.
Yeah, that's right.
So
it was either Corey or JJ. I'm not sure which one.
I don't know which one, but yeah, she was very pregnant, and everyone was like, "Oh, look at your belly!"
Yeah. Well, he popped out, and
I know.
now there's a song for it.
So cute. So Roz Johnson says, "Have you ever thought about maybe you and Kat doing a video together? He loves the Chris Standrings videos, and he says they're so entertaining. He loves them."
Yeah, Chris makes some incredible videos, and it's something I've always thought about, and we'll definitely cross that bridge at some point. I've still yet to do. I've done kind of like shots from the studio and paired it with the audio, but I haven't done a straight up music video yet. So yeah, we'll have to figure something out, Kat.
We will have to figure something out.
Yeah.
Althea McMillan says, "You and Kat tell stories about your travels.
Yeah.
Did Adam Jr. ever go to any gigs with you, while traveling?" And she says pre-COVID, of course.
Right. Yeah. Well, he's come to a few. I mean, a lot of times he's in school, and of course, we don't take him out of school. But there's been a few. Well, when I was with Jennifer Lopez, both of you came to England and Ireland, and we met up there.
I think he was like 3.
Yeah.
Maybe he was like 3 or 4.
And Philadelphia as well. You guys flew out to Philadelphia to see me there. San Francisco when I was with the Manhattan Transfer.
Yeah, that's right. San Francisco.
We all flew up there. That was his first flight ever, and he did so amazing. He was such a pro.
I think he was at that time 2, maybe 3, going to San Francisco.
No, he was older. He was older. No, yeah.
He was tiny. He was so little because he still needed a car seat.
Yeah.
So he was like no older than 3.
Well,
maybe
he
4.
did incredible. He was excited. He was just staring out the window. He was like, "Oh, look, here we go." So yeah, he definitely, if it's summertime or if it's spring break or winter break, we've definitely brought him out a few times.
He's come with us to Napa as well.
Yep, he went up to Napa. Yeah, Brian Culbertson's festival. So yeah, he answered your question.
He goes a few places.
Yeah, he's shown up at a few of them. So It's funny though. He's seen the show so many times, especially in Southern California. He's just like, "All right, here we go."
I know.
Let me get my
well,
iPad.
Yeah, when we did the Hollywood Bowl, I told him to take photos, right, from where he was sitting. And when I walked out on stage and kind of had a moment, I was looking at him, and he was just on his iPad.
Yep.
Afterwards, I said, "Did you take any photos?" He was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I said, "Well, never mind. Jeez."
Yeah. Well, we got time for one more. Is there one more? Or did we get through them all?
I think we've got through them. Juanita Canley. She says, and then Linda Dickinson said he was on Catalina Island for a show.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even think about that because that's Southern California. Yeah. It's right nearby, but you're exactly right. Yeah.
He's always there,
Yeah, so that's always a fun one.
So Juanita Canley says, "Where did you decide to vacation?" We didn't go for like a staycation.
We
stayed
normally
at home.
we normally go to Hawaii in December or early January, as we've been doing that the last 3 years. And definitely we were having withdrawals because after about a year, it's like, shouldn't we be going back over there? So I think once everything clears up, we're definitely going to make it back over there.
Definitely going to make it. But we do, if you guys remember, for our anniversary last summer, I took Adam on a trip to Italy in our backyard,
That was incredible.
through our decor and our meal. And so Adam's birthday is coming up soon. And so you're going to go on another trip at home.
Wow.
So you
do I need to close my ears so you can tell everybody?
No.
Oh, okay.
We can show them pictures afterwards.
Okay. Because I was going to then rewind later and see what you said.
And you know what? Actually, speaking of Hawaii, one of my really good friends, she and her fiance and kids, they're actually thinking of moving to Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
And she just told me the other day that they're
Paradise.
planning to go there for a month and stay, because right now they're still working remotely, at home.
Yeah.
And then their kids are very small. They're not in school yet.
Okay.
And so she's like, well, it's a pandemic, and we kind of want like a change and see like where it goes. She's like, we're just gonna go for a month and look at stuff. I was like, I want to come
Well, we could definitely go visit him, no
yeah.
question.
But thank you guys so much for your Ask Adam
Yeah.
questions.
All right, thank you, Kat. Appreciate you.
you.
We will see you next week.
Okay, bye.
All right, and it is that time. I'm going to let you know what we have going on next week. We have an incredible artist all the way from Germany by way of Southern California, the one and only Niels, incredible guitarist. He had the song of the decade from 2000 to 2010 with Pacific Coast Highway. So many hits, really incredible stories from, he had a storied sideman career, recording with such people as George Benson and with the Temptations, and then he's had some incredible records as well. So definitely tune in for that. Niels next week. And I have already confirmed we have our interviews scheduled, working on the songs, some incredible guests. The gentleman who has the #1 song in the nation this week, Riley Richards, all the way from Cleveland, will be in the house in upcoming weeks. Elon Trotman, all the way from Boston, and you know him from his incredible Barbados Jazz Excursion. He will be on AH Live. We also have coming up Phil Denny and Ryan Montano. They have a great song coming out. We have Will Donato coming up, and I'm leaving somebody out. Let me check my schedule because I want to let you guys know what to be looking forward to. I'm missing one person. Oh, we also have coming up Wakana, all the way from Tokyo. She's going to perform her brand new single for us. Blake Aaron is going to perform his brand new single that I had the pleasure of doing with him that features Najee. And so we are going to also have, finally, Kayla Waters is also coming up in the coming weeks. Incredible pianist, composer, producer, and she's also happens to be the daughter of Kim Waters, but an incredible artist in her own right. So all of those people are coming up in the next coming weeks, but next week, Niels, we're going to have so much fun with him, and we're going to have a guitar duel. So if you want to help out the show, one more reminder, just click that link in the description. I also pinned it in the comments. That will take you to PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, also my website for merchandise. Reagan mentioned her website. You can get her copies of her product as well, so make sure you support Reagan. And of course, you have stars as well. So I'm going to take us out. Let me grab my Git Fiddle over here. I'm going to take us out with one more tune. And also, never performed. We had 4 brand new songs for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But this is a song I cut my teeth on when I was coming up, when I was in college. And it's by the one and only George Benson. And I think you're going to recognize it. It is called Affirmation. goodness, ladies and gentlemen, that was just a little bit of George Benson to take you out. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of AH Live. We featured Ragan Whiteside today, and don't forget, next week we keep it going with episode 44 with the one and only Niels. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Good night.